Welcome everybody, this is Monster 5 and this will be my NFL projections for week 1 video. During this video I'm just going to play some MUT gameplay, just a team of the week. I'm bringing out a 60 overall team against the Cardinals. It's on pro, I should win pretty easily. So let's get to these projections. So first off, the game I want to talk about is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Miami Dolphins. So if you didn't already know, I was born and raised in Tampa, Florida, and right now they're bracing for Hurricane Irma. So my thoughts and prayers go out to all of Florida. I have my entire family living in Tampa right now, so they're bracing for it. So like I said, thoughts and prayers to them and everybody else. So I'll be on the phone making sure that everything's okay with them. So I would pick the Bucs, obviously, but that game is rescheduled to what I believe is week 11 now, which means both teams won't get a bye week. But the safety of everybody, fans and everything going to the games, it's not really worth it. All right, so let's move on. This will be my NFL projections. I'm by no means an expert, just somebody that's been watching the NFL for over 20 years. So first game on my list is the Jets versus Buffalo. For this game, I will be choosing Buffalo. I don't believe in the Jets. I think they are probably the worst team. I play them on my career mode, so firsthand. I know some of their scrub players. Next game will be the Atlanta versus Chicago, and this is just a mandatory against Chicago pick. I think they're also not that great. Some people think maybe they're coming up, maybe can get like 5 wins. I don't really see that. I see maybe 3 or 4. So Atlanta definitely for that. Next game is Baltimore versus Cincinnati. These two teams, I really don't know what I'm getting this year. It's too early to tell. It's kind of like a toss-up for this one, but I will go with Cincinnati just because I think they're a little bit more stable at the quarterback position. They did get Joe Mixon in the draft, so he can be a stud. If it wasn't for that domestic violence thing or assault thing, he probably was a first-round talent. Next game is Pittsburgh versus Cleveland, and this is obviously a mandatory pick against Cleveland pick, so this will be Pittsburgh. Cleveland's just rebuilding for forever, so I do like what I see out of their rookie quarterback, but obviously it's going to be Pittsburgh. Next game is Arizona versus Detroit. This is kind of another toss-up in my eyes. I really don't know what I'm getting with these two teams. I don't know what Carson Palmer is going to do, if he's going to come back to Carson Palmer from like 2-3 years ago, or if he's going to, if he's already out, like if he's on his way out. But I will pick the Arizona Cardinals. I like their defense. I'm not sold on Detroit yet. I might be wrong for this one. My next game is Jacksonville versus Houston. For this game, I will be going with Houston. I don't believe in Jacksonville or Blake Bortles, not at this point yet. So definitely going with Houston. I kind of like what I see out of their defense. They got some pretty decent receivers. Next game is what I think can be the game of the week. There's a few good games on here, but definitely Oakland versus Tennessee. I feel like it will probably be the highest scoring, in my opinion, out of the good games this week. I'm going to rock with Oakland. The Raiders were on their way up. Derek Carr's back. He's going to be throwing touchdowns. Nothing against Mariota and the Titans. Mariota's played great. I followed him closely since he came into this as a second pick to Jameis Winston's number 1 pick. So I've been following, kind of seeing what he's been doing. But I don't think the Titans are there yet. They might pull an upset. I'd say it'd be an upset if Tennessee won, but I'm going to go with Oakland for week 1. I think they're on the rise. All right, so next game is another good one, Philadelphia versus Washington. I'm going to go with Philly. They were strong in the beginning of last year. They came on strong at the end of last year. I think Carson Wentz is going to his stock's going to rise. I'm not really feeling Washington too much this year. I know Kirk Cousins is playing for money again, but I'm going to go with Philly. Next game is the Colts versus the LA Rams, and this is the anti-LA Rams pick. I haven't thought the LA Rams were anything great for the last 8 years. So Indy, even with the backup quarterback, without luck, I think they still pull it out. Next game is Seattle versus Green Bay. This will be a great game. I'm going with Green Bay. I know Seattle's defense improved a little bit, but Aaron Rodgers is a bad man, and I think he's going to pull it out. If the game was in Seattle, I'd go picking Seattle, but I'm going with Green Bay. Next game on my list is the Panthers versus San Francisco. This is a anti-San Francisco pick. They are not good at all. I know they had Brian Hoyer as their quarterback. I'm not sure who's starting now, but I'm going to go with Carolina. New York Giants versus Dallas, what a lot of people consider the game of the week. So even though Zeke is managing to play, I'm going to go with the Giants. I think their addition of Brandon Marshall on offense is going to be too much. It's going to give Odell some extra, one-on-one coverage. So I'm going with the Giants on there. Their defense is always good. JPP looks like he's getting back to the five-fingered JPP. New Orleans versus Minnesota. I'm gonna go with Minnesota on here. Being a Bucs fan, I can't stand the Saints, but that's not why I'm picking them. New Orleans hasn't played good on the road the last few years. Drew Brees getting older, but I know he still throws for 5,000 yards every year. But I'm gonna go with Minnesota. Next game here is the Chargers versus the Broncos. So I think the Chargers are going to be better than last year. For Denver, I'm still not sold on Simeon or any of their quarterbacks. The fact that they brought back Brock Osweiler is not that great. So with that being said, I'm still going with Denver. They still have that dominant defense. Until I see otherwise, I'm going to say that their defense is going to be able to win them some games. All right, so last game, which already happened last Thursday, which I obviously didn't get around to picking, was the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New England Patriots. So I'll be honest on this one. I would never have picked the Chiefs. I thought the Patriots were going to ball out, considering they just won the Super Bowl and Tom Brady's coming back. They got some new offensive weapons. Even though Edelman went down, they brought in Brandon Cooks, and I thought that's a huge signing. And they got some extra help on defense. I did not see the Kansas City Chiefs coming in and stomping on them, but that's what happened. And I'll be honest with this one. I was not expecting that, so my pick would have been the Patriots. So those were my week 1 projections. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you didn't like the video, if you want to leave your hate for me, leave it in the comments. I'll defend myself with my opinions, and we can talk about why I shouldn't have picked against your team. So that kind of wraps it up. I'm going to try to put these projection videos out every Sunday morning before the games start. I won't do it on Thursday, so I'll probably pick who I would have picked on the Thursday night game. So that's going to wrap it up for me today. Like I said before, my thoughts and prayers to everybody experiencing, Hurricane Irma. So this is Munster 5. So I will see you guys next time. I am out. Enjoy the rest of this game as I continue to stomp on the Cardinals. Peace.